Today, I will be showing you how to make detailed floor plans, elevations, and rendered sections inside of Rayon.design. This is part 1 of a mini tutorial series in collaboration with Rayon.design. Part 2 and 3 will be released shortly, and if they are already available, they will be in the description of this video. Without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is you want to access Rayon, so you can use it on the web with a Wi-Fi connection, but you can also download it into your computer. It is compatible for Windows and also for Mac. So after you create your account, this is what you will see. This is the homepage. So let me give you a bit of a walkthrough so you know what's going on. So first, you're going to have your recent models, the things that you have been working on. Under that, you're going to have templates that are created by the Rayon.design team. So they are really good for inspiration. And under that, you're going to have tutorials. Now here to the left side of the screen, you're going to have your favorites. You can also favorite your models if you want to do that. You will also see all the templates. So they are quite a lot of them. And under that, you're going to see all the tutorials that they have created for you as well. If you ever trash anything, it's going to be here. Here, you're going to see your workspace, and you can also add people to your workspace. Now, you can create a new model, or you can also import something that you are already working with, whether that's a PDF, a DWG, a JPEG, PNG file. Really, you can do anything, but you can also import anything after creating a new model. So I'll show you how to do that. So let's just click on new model and start creating something from scratch. So this is the interface. So if you click here on the hamburger menu, you can go back to the home page, create something new, make a copy, or you could also import here an image or a DWG file. So I would always recommend you to just create a new file, and then if you need to import something, you can do that right here. Then after you finish your work, you can also export it. You have some tools here available to you. You can change the view mode. You can zoom in and out here, or you can use your mouse. And here you can change the preferences. You can add a grid if you want to add a grid and things like that. So let me just click on that. So here at the bottom, you can hide the panel here, or you can show it. And under that, you can change the color of the interface, and you could also change the background to like a black if you want it to look a little bit more like AutoCAD. But for now, I'm just going to leave it white. Now here at the top, you're going to have your layers, your blocks, styles, pages, tables, and comments. We will come back to all of these options later in this tutorial series. And on the other side, you're going to have your properties panel, and then this is going to be applicable to your tools. So all of your tools are available here below. So we're going to be working with this, and every time you work with a tool, then you're going to be able to change the properties of that specific tool. Here at the bottom, finally, very importantly, you can zoom in, or you could also change the area units and the length units. For now, we're going to be working with centimeters to make things a little bit easier, but here it's very fast and very easy to change the units. This is not like AutoCAD, where you probably already know it would be a little bit more complicated, but here you can just change the units, and then it's going to change everything for you. So let's set that up to centimeters, and let's start creating. So the first thing I want to show you how to do is create your walls. So you just want to click here on this icon, and it's going to activate your wall tool. You could also type W on your keyboard. It's going to here give you a suggestion, and you're just going to click on the tool that you want to use, and then you can start creating your wall. So the first thing we're going to do, and just to give you a bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing. So this is a floor plan. This is a template. It is in the description below if you want to access the entire template. But in this tutorial series, we're going to make the kitchen together, and then we're going to do some elevations and sections that are here in the other next videos that are coming. So today we're going to focus on the floor plan and some very basic tools. I'm not going to do the entire floor plan because that would take me probably an hour, and I don't want to make this tutorial very long, but I will show you how to make all the walls, all of these things, so that you can later, if you want to do that, make the entire plan. So okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do these walls that are here, and then we're going to start adding here the insulation, this little detail for this wall. And then we're gonna move on to the furniture, the annotations, the flooring, and all of that. So let's go back to our new model. So I'm going to, again, remember that you wanna go to your wall tool, and then you're just gonna click somewhere, and then you're gonna drag that. And then you can either click somewhere random and then type your dimension. So if you click on that, you can change that to whatever you want. Another way to do it would be by just doing the wall, dragging that, And before you click again, you want to set the distance. So you would just do the same thing. And then here below, it's actually going to take note of that. And then you want to enter, and then it's going to give you the option to change the angle, but I don't want to change it. So I'm just going to click enter again. And then it's going to create that with the distance that I want. Now, this wall is the default wall here in Rayon, but what you can do is you can change the thickness, the fill, the outline, and a lot of things. So what we want to do here is we want to select it and make this 20 centimeters thick. So it is going to change it. And then you can here add like a color to the wall. You can add a texture as well, or you can add a hatch. For now, we're going to add a hatch. And if you click here on the drop down menu for the patterns, you can just scroll down and then find the hatch that you want. And then you can bring the opacity down. So it's going to make it a little bit less black, so a little bit more gray. So this is the color. So if I bump that all the way, it's going to be black, but then I want it to be a little lighter, and we will leave that for now. Now the stroke, which is the outline, you can also make it thicker, or you can change the color of it. So you can make it, let's say, a little bit thicker. That would make it thicker, or something like that. But let me just go back to that. So we're just going to leave it like that for now. So now this is the first wall. So now we're going to do, so this is that one. We're going to do this wall and then this one. The same thing, you want to activate your wall tool. And here you want to make sure that your alignment is to the left, so that the wall is created this side of the screen. So I'm just going to drag that and then bring that down. And this is, I think, for 27 centimeters. So that is correct. But now this one is actually thicker. So we're going to change that to 40 centimeters. And that is about right. Now you can do that again for this wall here, or you can just copy and paste it. So you would just click on it and here click on copy. And then you're going to grab it from the place that you want it to be copied. And then you want to snap it to the other place as well. And then you can just hit on done. And now you have those three walls that are coming here. And now we're going to do this wall. And after that, we're going to start adding the details of the wall. So we're going to grab the wall tool and then we're going to drag this down. Then you want to click on that and change that to 10 centimeters. And that is pretty much it. So now we're going to add the insulation. So we do have some insulation here next to this walls. So it's very easy to make it. So you're going to use the line tool. And you're just going to click on one side and then drag that and click on the other side. Now this is just the line right now, but if you change the stroke here, you can add a dash, and then you want to click on the dash. And here you can change the type of line that you want. So we're going to go for padding, and it's going to create the convention. So that is it. But right now it's not the correct scale. So what we want to do is we want to click on that again, and you can change the weight. So let's do that. Let's make that bigger. And then if you change here this number, it's also gonna scale it. So we probably want to do like 1.5. I think it's a little smaller actually. We're gonna do 1.5, but then here we're only gonna do something like maybe like that. So that looks about right. Now the only thing that you want to do now is you want to click on it because it's super dark. So you can just bring the opacity down to make it a bit lighter. So now I want to move it a little bit. So I'm going to click on it and then I'm going to click on the move tool, grab it from here and move it up a little bit. So it is looking pretty good. And now you wouldn't have this exposed like this. So I'm going to do, like, ideally you would need like a gypsum wall board or something to cover up that wall, right? Or like this insulation. So what I will do to make that type of drawing of detail, I'm just going to use the rectangle tool and I'm just going to click here. And right now it is applying that same stroke. So what I will do, I'm just going to here remove the dash. And now it's going to go back to normal. And then I'm just going to do a rectangle. And here, if you click on that, you can change the fill. You can make it a little bit darker because we had changed those properties, but you can also like modify them by clicking at the things and here bringing everything back to what it was before. Now, let's make the detail for this wall here. So we have another wall here that has some insulation, which is this one. And this one has some 2x4s wood blocks or studs, that's what they are most likely. So we're gonna do that. So before anything, I want to do a rectangle, and I'm gonna make that from here to here. So now this rectangle, you can add a fill to it, so we're gonna do that. So here you can add a fill, and you can add like any color. We're just gonna do a white one, and then we will just leave that like that. And now we're just gonna do the wood studs. So I'm gonna do another rectangle and do like a 2x4. 2x4 is in inches. I'm not sure exactly what it is in centimeters. Just make sure like you use the correct measurement. So I'm gonna do it outside of it, and then I'm gonna use the line tool to draw a line just to indicate that this is a wood stud. And now what I want to do, so right now what I'm doing is these ones. So for these lines, I can change the stroke to make it a little bit less thick, or I could also change the color, or maybe the opacity. I can bring it something like that. Maybe this is also a little bit thick. But after you have done the stud, you can make it a group so that you know these things are not loose. So you can just make a window selection, right click on it, and then you would just make it a group, and then you can just drag it. Oh, I was scaling it. So you can just drag it, and then you can just make copies of this. So you can just use your Control Copy, Control V keys to paste that in the correct place. And now finally we're gonna do some, I think here you have some 4x4s. Yeah, so you have a 4x4 there in the corner. We need to stretch it. So you just grab it and stretch it. And this is where I want to say that this is very different than AutoCAD. If you want to stretch a wall in AutoCAD, it wouldn't be this easy. Like this is just like kind of like Revit, but simpler, where you can just stretch things. So it's very, very easy and fun. So anyway, we're gonna do a 4x4 here, and again, like you would take your sweet long time to do that. For now I just want to show you. So obviously you would want to have the correct distance between these studs. So to do that, you can use the dimension tool. So you're just gonna type DI, and then let's say that these ones are 80 centimeters apart. So just drag that and then type 80, enter. So it is here, so I'm just gonna drag that to the correct distance. And if you want to check that distance, you can use the distance tool. So click on that, and then click on one corner, click on the other, that's 81. So we're just drawing a line, and we click on that line, we go to the stroke, we click on add dash, and we change the dash to a insulation, so something like that. So now it is super thick, so we're just gonna try to modify that. And maybe here we change here the thickness, so you can make it a little bit more. And now it is pink. I don't know why. Oh, because I changed it here. So anyway, so now we're just gonna add the rest of the furniture and the flooring and all of that. So first off, I want to make a zone. So to make a zone, you can just do Z for zone, and then you want to just kind of like make an outline for the zone that you want. So if this is the kitchen, you can just select that, and then when you close that outline, you can just hit done, and then it's going to create that zone for you. And then if you click on that, you can change the name, and you can have there the square footage, or you can just have whatever you want, nice it to whatever you want. You can move the annotation if you want to do that. Now if you click on the zone, then here you can add like a different fill, and this is where you can start adding like new hatches, textures, you know, like flooring, things like that. So let's see what we have. Here we have like a tile. So let's try to find something like that. So I think it is a ceramic tile, and here you can transform it, and you can change the scale, and you can also rotate it. So let's see if you want to rotate that like 45 degrees, and then you can do 2x, and it's gonna make it larger, 1.5. So that looks kind of similar to that. So we're just gonna leave it like that. And that's pretty much how you make the zones. You could also change like color textures if you want to do that. Like you do have here like colored floors, and then you can also change the opacity if you think that they are super dark. So just to make it a little more aesthetic. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding our furniture. So to not move this, you can right click on it, and you can lock it so that it's not moving around. And now you can add your, here we have like a cabinet, our kitchen, our furniture, and things like that. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to add here this. So this is 235 by 28. Okay, so we have 235 and then the height 28. And then here you can add a fill. For now I'm just going to add like a white fill, and this is going to be this. So now on the other side you have here like a kitchen counter. So this has actually two components. We can make it one or you can make it two, but let's stick with one. So we're going to do this one, which is 207 by 46. So we're going to do another rectangle. So it's 46, 207, so something like that. And we want to add a fill to that. You could also add like different types of colors, like pastels. Like if you want to render it, you can also do that. And now we're going to do finally the other one, which is this one. So maybe you want to take your time to get the right dimensions, but I want to show you how you would do that with a polyline. So you can here activate the polyline, so not the single line but the polyline, and then it's going to start creating different polylines, and you can start using them to create your custom shape. And then if you click on that, you can also change the fill and all of the details for that. So that is it, and this is our kitchen. So now we're going to start bringing some of the furniture. So this is actually a sofa. It is called Sofa Basic L2. So let me try to search L2. I'm just trying to search for that same one. So I think it is this one. So it seems like it is this one. So I'm importing that. And you see how everything loads so quickly. Now here there are some things we need to do. First off, we need to flip it. And second of all, you see how here this one is very light, and this one, the outlines are super dark. So the blocks have like their own assigned styles, because you know the people in the Rayon.design team, they create the blocks and they assign their different types of styles. But you might want to change that, and you can do that. The first thing you want to do is you want to flip it. So if you click on it, you can here rotate it, keep rotating it until you are happy with the location. And then if you click on that, you can see here that this sofa has these two styles. But what I want to do is I want to create my own style. So what I will do is I'm going to replace it, and then I'm going to do a new style. This is my workflow. This is what I like to do. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to name that furniture style. And then here I'm going to change the stroke. I'm going to make that probably like that. And then I like to add a fill, so you can add like a white fill, or you could also start like rendering, adding like different colors to your sofas. You can add like something super light. For now we're just going to do white, just to mimic that other drawing. And here if you edit it, you can change that if you want to do that. So let's say I want to make this a little bit lighter, and you can also do that with the flooring. Right now I'm looking at the flooring and I see that my flooring is super dark, so I want to make it a bit brighter. So what I want to do is I want to go here to my layers, and I'm gonna try to find the zone. I want to unlock it, because remember that I had locked it. And here I want to change the style, and probably I want to make this a little bit less. So the flooring is like the furthest point if you're looking at a floor plan, so you would probably want it to be like super light. And now for this other counters, you could also apply that style that you have created for furniture, or you can create another one for like cabinets. It's really up to you. Right now I'm just going to use the furniture because I don't want to spend here all day. The libraries are super nice. So let me here try to, so I'm just gonna import that, and that should be here now. So it brought all of those. So anyway, I'm just gonna drag that, and right now it is super big, so you can make that smaller. And of course make sure you always get like the right dimensions. Maybe I like to use this one. And then now it is super dark, and I want to rotate it, so you can just grab it here from the corner, rotate it a little bit, and now you can use that style that you were that we had created. So it is the furniture style, and that's gonna make it super light. So here you might want to have some items on top of certain other items, so you can right click and arrange that, and you can bring that to the front of the layer. And those stools would definitely have to be under the counter. So that's how you would do something like that. So finally, we're just gonna search for these other sink and the cooktops. Okay, so finally, we would need to add the annotations and the dimensions for our little kitchen floor plan. So to do that, you can go here to your dimension tool, which would be here, and you can just select, like, let's say if you want to dimension this and this. So this is actually giving you like the default settings, but you can change all of those settings here. So depending on what you want, so you can make here also the text a little bit lighter. You can change the arrow, what do you call them? I forgot. Oh my god. So this is what I normally do, and here there's so many settings, and you can kind of like change everything here, and you can make them, the text, you can make it a little bit smaller and things like that. So you could also create styles. So for example, you've modified all the settings here, and you can save that as a style. So you can do like red style or red dimensions. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add here this annotations, and you can see here how most of the annotations, if not all of them, they do have like this little leader lines. So let me show you how you can make that. So you could just add a text, like normal text, but that's only gonna add whatever text you want, and it's not gonna add the leader. So if you want to do annotations and you're like pointing at stuff inside of your floor plan, then it's better to use the leader. So you want to activate it, and then you're gonna start making the leader, and then when you drag and drop, then you're gonna be able to do the text. So basically you click once, and then you specify the direction, and now you can start adding the text. So here we're gonna have round table. So I'm just gonna double click that, round table, radio 85, and now you can here click done. Now what I would do, for me right now, I want to make this annotations red. So unlike this one here, they are black, but if you want to add like your own style, you can definitely do that. So before you exit that, you can here create a new style. So probably you want to set that to a different color, and maybe you also want to set a different color for that, and maybe you want to make this like a different size. So I want to do like 8 centimeters. And after you've kind of like given it different properties, you can here also change other properties, but once you're happy with that, you can just save that style and you can give it a name. So maybe red annotations, click enter, and now so that's how you basically would do it. And then if you want to add another one, so here you can see how it is already using that style, but you can replace it with like a different style. But I want to keep it for the red one, so that every time that I bring another annotation, it's going to have that same properties of this new style that I have created. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you are interested to keep watching this tutorial series, make sure you check the other 2 tutorials where we are going to be talking about elevations, sections, and how to do everything else here in Rayon.design. Okay, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!